hold on to your candy canes. Santa's newest adventure is about to blast off, and it all starts with a sound no one has ever heard before. Santa and the Lost Star of Christmas. Far, far away in the snowy heart of the North Pole, Christmas Eve preparations were in full swing. The elves were painting toys, the reindeer were polishing their bells, and the air smelled of peppermint and pine. But something strange was happening in the sky that night. The North Star, the magical light that guided Santa's sleigh every Christmas, had vanished. Inside his cozy workshop, Santa Claus adjusted his spectacles and peered through the frosted window. "Oh, dear me," he exclaimed, stroking his white beard. "The North Star's gone missing. Without it, how will we find our way to the children of the world?" The youngest elf, Tinka, gasped. She had always dreamed of going on an adventure with Santa. "Don't worry, Santa," she said, standing on tiptoe. "We'll find it together. I'll pack my sparkle compass." Santa chuckled warmly. "A brave spirit indeed, Tinka. And I'll need you. Comet, Snowy, prepare for a journey." From the stable came a cheerful whinny. Comet, Santa's fastest reindeer, trotted forward, his antlers glittering with snowflakes. Above them swooped Snowy, the wise old snow owl, carrying a tiny map rolled under her wing. Within moments, Santa, Tinka, Comet, and Snowy set off into the icy night. The sleigh glided across the clouds, but the sky felt darker than ever. The land of shimmering ice. After hours of flying, Snowy hooted, "Down there, Santa. The land of shimmering ice, where the northern lights are born. If the star fell, it might be there." They landed softly on glittering snow that sparkled like diamonds. The wind whispered through crystal towers, and light danced in rainbow swirls. But something wasn't right. The colors flickered weakly. Suddenly, a swirl of frost appeared, and a voice rang out like a winter bell. "Santa Claus. Welcome, old friend." It was Frostina, the Snow Queen, draped in robes of silver and blue. "The North Star has fallen into shadow," she said. "A mischievous goblin named Blix stole it, thinking it would give him endless magic. But without the star in the sky, even his magic is fading." Santa frowned kindly. "Blix doesn't understand that light isn't meant to be kept, it's meant to be shared." Tinka tugged on Santa's coat. "Then let's help him see that." With Frostina's guidance, they entered the crystal caves, where walls shimmered like glass. The deeper they went, the darker it grew. Finally, they reached a glowing chamber where Blix stood, clutching the North Star inside a cracked crystal orb. "Stay back," Blix shouted. "It's mine now. I just wanted to shine like everyone else." The star's light pulsed weakly, dimming more with each second. The cave trembled, and shards of ice began to fall. Santa raised his hand gently. "Blix, my dear one, you already shine. But when you try to keep the light to yourself, it fades. Let it go, and it will make the whole world sparkle, even you." Tinka stepped forward, her voice small but brave. "You can be part of our team, Blix. We could really use your magic." Blix's eyes softened. The warmth in their voices melted the ice around his heart. Slowly, he opened his hand. The crystal orb cracked apart, and the North Star floated upward, glowing brighter and brighter until the entire cave blazed with light. Frostina smiled. "The star remembers your kindness, Blix. It forgives you." The star burst free, shooting up through the ceiling and returning to the sky, where it shimmered brighter than ever. The sky restored. Outside, the heavens blazed once more with the golden white glow of the North Star. Santa climbed into his sleigh, beaming. "Thank you, everyone. Christmas is saved." Comet pawed the snow eagerly. "Let's test the light, Santa. I'm ready to fly." Blix looked down, ashamed. "I'm sorry, Santa. I just wanted to feel important." Santa placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "You are important, Blix. The spirit of Christmas is about forgiveness and friendship. Why don't you help Tinka in the toy workshop this year?" Blix's face lit up brighter than the northern lights. "You mean it?" "Of course," Santa said with a wink. "Every light belongs in the sky." The return home. As they soared back to the North Pole, the sleigh sparkled beneath the glowing star. Tinka laughed, her cheeks rosy. "Santa, that was the best adventure ever." Snowy hooted in agreement. And now, Christmas Eve can shine on as always. Back at the workshop, the elves cheered when they saw the North Star gleaming once more. Blix even helped decorate the tallest Christmas tree, using his magic to make the ornaments twinkle like tiny stars. That night, before the great journey began, Santa gathered everyone close. "Remember," he said softly, "the true light of Christmas is not in the stars, but in the kindness we share." The bells jingled, the sleigh rose high, and under the shining North Star, Santa called out, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a bright night. Sparkle's moral of the story. Light grows stronger when it's shared with love and forgiveness. Santa and the Candy Castle Rescue. The morning after the North Star returned to the sky, Santa's workshop buzzed with excitement. The elves were singing jingles, reindeer pranced in the snow, and even the gingerbread men danced near the fireplace. But just as Santa sipped his cocoa, a swirl of pink smoke filled the room. A candy-shaped scroll appeared, tied with a peppermint ribbon. Santa unrolled it carefully. The letter glittered with sugar dust and read, "Dear Santa, the Candy Kingdom is melting. The chocolate rivers have turned bitter, and the gumdrop towers are collapsing. Please help us before everything turns to sticky syrup. The Candy Queen." Santa's eyes twinkled. "Oh my whiskers, the Candy Kingdom in trouble? We must help at once." "Can I come, Santa?" cried Tinka, hopping beside him. "I've never seen a chocolate river before." "Of course, my brave little helper," Santa said with a laugh. Comet. Snowy. Ready for another adventure? Comet jingled his bells proudly. "Always, Santa." And from the rafters, Snowy swooped down. "The winds are calm, a sweet day for flying." Together, they climbed aboard the sleigh. The North Star sparkled above them, lighting the path as they soared toward the Candy Kingdom, following the smell of cocoa and caramel. The kingdom in trouble. When they arrived, the sight made Tinka gasp. Once, the Candy Kingdom had been a dazzling world, peppermint trees, rivers of chocolate, and jellybean fields that stretched for miles. But now, everything was melting. The gingerbread guards were slipping on syrupy streets, and the Candy Queen's castle, built of gumdrops and sugar glass, was slowly sinking. The Candy Queen herself stood on a caramel balcony, waving frantically. Her crown of candy canes drooped sadly. "Oh, Santa," she cried. "The fountain of sweetness has stopped flowing. Without it, all candy magic is fading." Santa landed his sleigh and hurried over. "Don't you worry, Your Majesty," he said kindly. "We'll find the problem." Snowy spread her wings. "Look, the chocolate river's turning dark upstream." They followed it through the licorice forest until they reached a bubbling pool, and there, stirring it with a giant candy cane, was none other than Blix the goblin. Blix's sticky mistake. "Blix!" Tinka cried. "What are you doing here?" Blix froze, sugar splattered across his nose. "I was just, trying to help. I wanted to make the Candy Kingdom sweeter." But Santa noticed the syrup overflowing and dripping down into the river. "My dear Blix," he said gently, "sometimes too much of a good thing causes trouble." "I just wanted everyone to like me," Blix said softly. "I thought if I made endless candy, the Candy Queen would invite me to her parties." Tinka frowned thoughtfully. "You don't need to flood a whole kingdom to make friends, Blix. You just need to help." Santa smiled. "Exactly. Let's fix this together. The Great Candy Rescue." With Santa's guidance, Tinka used her sparkle compass to locate the sweetness fountain, hidden beneath the castle. It was powered by a crystal sugar heart, now covered in sticky syrup. Comet and Blix worked together to dig the fountain free, while Snowy called directions from above. "Steady, steady, one more push," she hooted. The fountain rumbled to life, but the pressure was too high. The chocolate river gushed, the jellybean hills trembled, and soon the entire kingdom was caught in a sweet, swirling flood. "Quick!" Santa shouted. "We'll build candy boats." Tinka grabbed candy canes for oars, and Blix used his magic to turn giant cupcakes into floating rafts. The gingerbread guards and candy citizens climbed aboard as Santa steered through the cocoa waves. "Ho ho ho!" Santa laughed, even as caramel splashed everywhere. "Now this is a sweet adventure." The lesson in sweetness. Once the waters calmed, Santa used his magic glove to lift the sugar heart back into place. It glowed brightly, pulsing with soft pink light, and suddenly, the entire kingdom sparkled again. The rivers cleared, gumdrops rose back into towers, and the air filled with the scent of peppermint joy. The Candy Queen curtsied gracefully. "Oh, Santa, you've saved us once again." But Santa shook his head. "Not just me, it was teamwork. And Blix here learned an important lesson today." Blix looked embarrassed, but Santa's kind eyes made him smile. "I just wanted to make something amazing," Blix said. "Next time, I'll ask before I stir up trouble." Tinka giggled. "And maybe stick to small batches of candy." Everyone laughed, even the Candy Queen. She gave Blix a shiny candy medal shaped like a heart. "From now on," she said, "you're the royal candy helper." Blix's eyes filled with tears. "Really? You mean it?" "Of course," said Santa warmly. "A kind heart is the sweetest gift of all." Back to the North Pole. As they flew home under the bright North Star, Tinka sighed happily. "Santa, every adventure with you feels like magic." Santa chuckled. That's because it is magic, my dear. Magic born from friendship. Snowy perched on the sleigh's edge. And perhaps a little sugar. They all laughed as the sleigh bells jingled across the sky, leaving a faint trail of sparkling candy dust behind. Back at the North Pole, Blix joined the elves in baking cookies for everyone. He mixed carefully this time, just the right amount of sweetness. As the night deepened, Santa gazed at the sky and whispered, "Wherever kindness flows, Christmas magic follows." Sparkle's moral of the story: the sweetest thing you can make is a friend. Santa and the Dragon of the Golden Mountain. The North Pole shimmered under a bright golden sunrise. Santa's sleigh bells jingled gently as he prepared for another joyful Christmas season. Tinka polished toy trains, Comet munched on snowberries, and Blix, the reformed little goblin, was carefully wrapping gifts in shiny paper. But suddenly, Snowy the owl swooped into the workshop, feathers fluffed and eyes wide. "Santa, urgent news from the east," she hooted. "The children of the Golden Mountain Valley haven't received gifts for years. The skies there are blocked by a giant dragon." Santa's eyes widened behind his round spectacles. "A dragon, you say?" "Yes," said Snowy, landing on the workbench. "The villagers call him Wholesome, the golden dragon. He guards the mountain pass with fire and thunder. No one dares to enter." Santa stroked his beard thoughtfully. "Every child deserves a bit of Christmas joy, dragon or no dragon. It seems it's time for another adventure. The journey begins." Tinka leapt up excitedly. "Ooh, a real dragon. Can I come, Santa? Please?" "Of course," Santa chuckled. "We'll need your cleverness. And Blix, your magic might come in handy too." Comet snorted playfully. "Count me in. I've never outrun dragonfire before." "Let's hope it doesn't come to that," Snowy muttered, shaking her feathers. Within the hour, the sleigh soared over icy mountains, through clouds that shimmered gold in the sunlight. But as they neared Golden Mountain, the air grew heavy. The sky dimmed, and the wind carried the sound of a deep, rumbling growl. From a distant cave, a flash of golden flame lit the horizon. Tinka clutched Santa's sleeve. "That must be Wholesome." "Ho ho ho," Santa said calmly. "Remember, my dear, fear often guards a lonely heart." The dragons roar. They landed gently at the foot of the mountain. The rocks glowed faintly, dusted with golden crystals. But before they could climb far, the ground trembled, and from the cave burst a dragon as magnificent as the sunrise itself. His scales gleamed like polished gold, his wings spread wide enough to darken the valley, and his eyes burned like molten amber. "Who dares enter my mountain?" he thundered. "Leave at once, or be turned to ashes." Tinka hid behind Santa, but Santa stepped forward calmly. "Greetings, Wholesome the Mighty. I am Santa Claus, bringer of joy and gifts. I come in peace." "Peace?" the dragon growled. "Your kind once came seeking my gold. You bring no peace, only greed." Santa shook his head sadly. "Not all seek gold, Wholesome. Some seek to give." The dragon snorted smoke. "Gifts mean nothing. The world forgot me long ago." Santa reached into his red sack and pulled out a small snow globe. Inside, it showed a child hugging a golden dragon. "This," Santa said softly, "is how children remember you, the protector of their valley. They still tell stories of your kindness." Wholesome hesitated, his fiery eyes dimmed slightly. "Kindness? That was long ago, when the valley was green, and laughter filled the air. But when the mines came and the noise began, I hid myself away. No one remembered me." Tinka stepped out from behind Santa. "Maybe they just didn't know how to reach you. Sometimes people forget how to say thank you." Blix nodded. "I know that feeling. I used to think no one cared about me either." The dragon's gaze softened. "You would speak kindly to a beast like me?" Santa smiled gently. "You're not a beast, Wholesome. You're a guardian, a heart wrapped in gold." The storm of fire. Just then, dark clouds gathered. A blizzard swirled down from the north, and thunder echoed through the mountains. The snow grew heavy, trapping the sleigh. "The storm is magical," Snowy cried. "It's freezing the mountain." Santa's eyes narrowed. "It seems Christmas magic itself is fading here, too much sorrow and anger in the air." Wholesome spread his wings. "I can melt the ice, but it will cost me my strength." Tinka shook her head. "We'll help you. You don't have to do it alone." Together, Santa and Blix used their magic, red light from Santa's gloves, blue sparks from Blix's hands, while Wholesome breathed golden fire into the sky. The snowstorm exploded into a shower of glittering light. The mountain glowed again, and the valley below shimmered with warmth. When the storm cleared, Wholesome collapsed, weak but smiling. "The gift of friendship." Santa knelt beside him. "Thank you, old friend. You saved not only the mountain but Christmas itself." The dragon blinked tiredly. I forgot how good it feels to give. Santa reached into his sack again and pulled out a golden bell. This is for you, Orem. When you ring it, you'll never be forgotten again. Its sound will remind the world of your golden heart. Orem gently took the bell in his claw. I will treasure it always. From that day forward, whenever the children of the Golden Valley celebrated Christmas, they would hear the soft, distant chime of Orem's bell echoing through the hills. A song of hope and kindness. Back at the North Pole. When Santa and his team returned home, the elves gathered eagerly to hear the tale. Tinka told them all about the glowing dragon, Blix performed a tiny spark of gold magic, and Comet puffed his chest proudly. Snowy perched on Santa's chair. So, Santa, what did you learn today? She asked playfully. Santa chuckled, stroking his beard. That even hearts covered in gold shine brightest when they give. He gazed up at the shimmering North Star and whispered, May every heart, big or small, remember that the greatest treasure is love. The sleigh bells jingled softly in agreement. Moral of the story. True treasure is found not in gold, but in kindness and giving. Santa and the Sea of Whispering Shells. The North Pole glowed softly beneath a curtain of twinkling stars. Inside his workshop, Santa Claus hummed merrily while checking his list, twice, of course. Tinka was busy wrapping ocean blue toys for island children, Blix was tying coral-colored ribbons, and Comet polished his sleigh bells until they shone like tiny suns. Snowy the owl fluttered in through the window, looking rather windswept. Santa, she hooted. A strange storm is brewing over the southern seas. The wind whispers of lost toys and sad songs beneath the waves. Santa raised his brows. Lost toys and sad songs? That sounds like an adventure waiting for us. Tinka clapped her hands. An ocean adventure. I've never seen the sea. Blix grinned. I could test my waterproof magic. Santa laughed, his belly shaking like jelly. Then it settled. We sail the skies to the Sea of Whispering Shells. The storm at sea. The next morning, they soared south beneath a rainbow sky. But as they neared the warm ocean winds, the weather changed. Dark clouds gathered, and lightning danced on the waves. Hold tight, Santa shouted. This storm is mighty unusual. The sleigh tilted, dipped, and, splash, crashed gently into the foaming sea. Tinka coughed out a bubble. Oh dear, the sleigh's floating like a boat. Snowy blinked water from her feathers. At least we're not sinking. Then, a gentle voice floated through the air. Are you all right, travelers from the sky? A shimmer of light rose from the water, a mermaid with a crown of pearls and long turquoise hair. She smiled kindly. I am Marina, guardian of the Sea of Whispering Shells. Santa tipped his wet hat politely. Ho ho ho. A pleasure, Marina. I fear we've crash-landed. Marina's smile faded. It's not just the storm. The magic of our sea is fading. The whispering shells, which carry the laughter of children's toys lost at sea, have fallen silent. Tinka gasped. That's terrible. Without laughter, the sea must feel lonely. Indeed, Marina said. We need your help to restore their song. The journey below. Marina waved her hand, and bubbles surrounded them like shining globes. Breathe deeply, she said. You can now speak and swim underwater. Down, down, down they went. Santa, Tinka, Blix, Snowy, and Comet, into the glowing underwater world. They passed coral castles, dancing fish, and seaweed forests that waved like ribbons. Then they met a shy sea turtle named Toko, who offered to guide them. The whispering shells lie deep in the trench, Toko said softly. But beware the shadow current. It steals light and sound. Blix gulped. That doesn't sound friendly. Courage, my friends, Santa said. Where there is darkness, we bring light. The shadow current. The deeper they swam, the darker it grew. Suddenly, a swirl of black water twisted around them, a shadow current. It hissed, pulling at their clothes. Tinka held tightly to Santa's arm. Santa, it's taking the light. Santa closed his eyes. Quickly, everyone, think of something joyful. Tinka imagined cookies and laughter. Blix imagined his friends cheering him on. Snowy thought of the North Star glowing bright. Slowly, their thoughts lit up like lanterns, forming a shimmering bubble of warmth around them. The current hissed again, and vanished. When the water cleared, they found themselves in a vast cave filled with silent, pale seashells. The lost laughter. These must be the whispering shells, Marina whispered, her voice echoing softly. Santa lifted one carefully. It feels sad. Blix tried a spark of magic, nothing. Tinka tapped one gently. Maybe they need to hear laughter again. Santa smiled. Then let's give them something to laugh about. He pulled out a small red nose from his pocket, the one he sometimes wore to make elves giggle, and placed it on. Ho ho ho, what do sea elves eat for breakfast? Shell flakes. Tinka burst out laughing. Blix snorted. Snowy hooted with glee. The sound echoed through the cave, and suddenly, one of the shells glowed softly. Then another, and another. Soon the entire cave was filled with the sound of laughter and music. The shells had awakened. Marina clapped her hands joyfully. You've done it. The sea can laugh again. The sea restored. As they swam upward, the water sparkled with color, pinks, blues, and golds swirling together. The ocean surface shimmered, calm and bright. Toko waved his flippers happily. The sea thanks you, Santa. The shells will now whisper joy to every corner of the ocean. Santa chuckled. Then our work here is done. Christmas magic flows once more, above and below the waves. Before they left, Marina gave Santa a small, glowing shell. When you listen to this, you'll always hear the laughter you brought back to our sea. Santa bowed. A gift I will treasure always. Homeward bound. Back in the sleigh, now gently lifted by sea breeze and magic, the friends looked down at the glittering ocean. Tinka sighed happily. I never knew the sea could laugh. Snowy smiled. It just needed someone to remind it how. Blix grinned. I'm glad I didn't turn into sea foam. Comet laughed. You almost did, when that turtle sneezed on you. They all laughed until their sides ached. Santa guided the sleigh north, whispering to the glowing shell in his pocket, wherever laughter lives, Christmas will never sink. The North Star twinkled above, and the sea below shimmered in reply. Moral of the story. Even in the deepest darkness, laughter and kindness can bring light back to the world. Santa and the Rainbow of Wishes. The North Pole sparkled brighter than ever. Snowflakes drifted gently, elves sang cheerful songs, and reindeer jingled their bells in rhythm. The big night, Christmas Eve, was almost here. Inside the workshop, Santa Claus reviewed the final toy list, while Tinka packed the last presents with neat little bows. Blix polished the sleigh runners, Snowy charted the skies, and Comet stretched his legs for the long flight. Everything was perfect, until suddenly, the sky outside flickered strangely. Tinka gasped. Santa, look, the Rainbow of Wishes is fading. Santa rushed to the window. Across the sky, the magical rainbow, the one that carried children's hopes and dreams to the North Star, was losing its color. Red, orange, yellow, green, each hue dimmed and disappeared one by one. Oh dear, Santa whispered. Without the Rainbow of Wishes, the magic of Christmas can't reach every heart. Blix looked worried. Then we must fix it, before the night is gone. Santa nodded gravely. My friends, it seems this will be our most important adventure yet. The journey through the colors. They loaded the sleigh, and with one jingle of bells, took off into the fading sky. The last thread of rainbow shimmered faintly ahead, leading them toward the realm of colors, a place beyond the stars where every hue has a home. Snowy guided them. The rainbow has 7 realms, she said. If we restore the light in each one, the magic will return. Then let's paint the sky again, said Tinka. The red realm, the Valley of Courage. The sleigh landed in a red, glowing valley surrounded by crimson clouds. But everything was still, no warmth, no life. They found a group of tiny fire sprites hiding behind rocks. We've lost our flame, one whispered. No one believes in bravery anymore. Santa knelt beside them. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's doing good even when you're scared. He handed them small, heart-shaped lanterns from his sack. Light these, and remember that even the smallest spark can chase away the dark. The fire sprite's lanterns blazed bright red, and the first stripe of the rainbow returned to the sky. The Orange Realm, the Garden of Joy. Next, they arrived in a land of orange light, but the trees drooped, and laughter was gone. A lonely fairy sat on a pumpkin throne, sighing. No one plays here anymore, she said. Everyone is too busy to smile. Blix grinned and conjured a swirl of candy confetti. Then let's throw a joy party. Tinka clapped and began a cheerful dance, while Comet pranced in circles, jingling his bells. Soon, laughter rippled through the air, and the fairy's wings shimmered once more. Orange light burst across the heavens. The second stripe was restored. The Yellow Realm, the Desert of Hope. In the golden sands, the sun had dimmed, and travelers trudged without direction. A young sand spirit looked up sadly. We've lost our hope. The sun doesn't rise anymore. Santa smiled softly. Then let's make a sunrise together. He and Tinka gathered the spirits, while Blix used his magic to draw a sun in the sand. Santa whispered an old Christmas blessing, and suddenly, the drawing burst into golden light, a new sun rising across the realm. Cheers echoed, and the yellow stripe glowed once again. The Green Realm, the Forest of Kindness. They entered a lush forest, but the leaves had turned gray, and the animals hid in fear. A weeping deer explained, the forest guardians forgot how to share. Santa placed his hand on a tiny tree. Then let's remind them. He plucked one red berry, handed it to the deer, and said, share this with your friends. The deer did, and as every creature passed the berry around, each leaf turned bright green. Snowy hooted happily. Kindness spreads faster than any spell. The green stripe glowed bright above them. The blue realm, the sea of peace. They soared into a realm of floating oceans, calm waves frozen in the sky. But the water was restless, swirling in storms of worry. Marina the mermaid appeared, her crown dim. Santa, our sea is afraid. The world forgets to rest. Santa smiled. Then let's breathe together. He closed his eyes, and everyone joined, Santa, Tinka, Blix, Comet, Snowy, and even Marina. Slowly, the waves settled, glowing a tranquil blue. The peace we give, Santa said softly, returns to us tenfold. The blue light spread, painting another stripe across the sky. The indigo realm, the mountain of dreams. Atop a violet mountain, they found children's dream bubbles, cracked and fading. Tinka touched one and gasped. They're losing their dreams. Blix closed his eyes. I used to dream no one would like me, until I met you all. Santa smiled proudly. And that dream came true because you believed again. Let's help them believe. He waved his glove, and golden sparkles flowed into the bubbles, showing each child smiling, playing, and laughing again. The bubbles rose into the sky, glowing indigo, another stripe restored. The violet realm, the heart of love. Finally, they reached a quiet realm filled with faint purple mist. At its center floated a crystal heart, cracked and dim. The heart of the rainbow, whispered Snowy. It holds the love of the world. Santa placed his hand upon it. Love never truly breaks, it only waits to be remembered. One by one, his friends touched the heart, Tinka's courage, Blix's friendship, Comet's loyalty, Snowy's wisdom, and even the echo of Wholesome the dragon's golden fire from far away. The heart began to glow, soft at first, then brighter and brighter until it filled the whole sky with dazzling color. The rainbow of wishes blazed above them once more, stretching across the stars. The magic returns. They soared home beneath the restored rainbow, its light washing over the world. Children everywhere stirred in their sleep, smiling as dreams of joy and love returned. Back at the North Pole, Santa parked the sleigh, eyes shining. You've all done something wonderful tonight, he said. You didn't just save Christmas, you reminded the world what it means. Tinka hugged Blix. We did it together. Santa looked at the sky. Every wish, every color, every smile, all connected by love. As the first snow of Christmas Eve began to fall, the rainbow of wishes shimmered overhead, brighter than ever before. Moral of the story. The colors of the world, courage, joy, hope, kindness, peace, dreams, and love, shine brightest when we share them with others. Wow, what an adventure! Did you enjoy today's magical story? Then don't forget to tap the like button, just like sprinkling a little Christmas sparkle. And if you want to join Santa, Tinka, Blix, Comet, and all our magical friends in even more adventures, hit subscribe and turn on the bell, so you never miss a story from Artzy Monkey Kids. We've got another exciting Santa adventure coming very soon. So stay curious, stay magical, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye little adventurers.